The Holdovers was directed by Alexander Payne, his first directorial credit in 7 years. Downsizing, I believe, was the last movie he came out with. Yeah, remember that weird thing where Matt Damon was shrinking himself down? Good times. But this one stars frequent Payne collaborator Paul Giamatti alongside the debuting Dominic Sessa and the incredible Divine Joy Randolph. And we follow a curmudgeonly history professor played by Paul Giamatti who works at a New England boarding school. He's getting punished by his supervisor to remain on campus during Christmas break, and this is a babysitting gig. He's looking after a handful of students who have nowhere to go for the holidays. And he soon forms this unlikely bond with a brainy but damaged troublemaker played by Dominic Sessa, and the school's head cook, played by Divine Joy Randolph, a woman who just lost her son in the Vietnam War. Now, Alexander Payne has gone on record in interviews to say that this is not a Christmas movie, but this is almost like the director of Die Hard saying that that's a Christmas movie, because at its core, I myself, the only sane person in the world it seems like, I see a summer blockbuster. And now here we go, this whole audience that's going to see The Holdovers is telling Alexander Payne, no, this is a heartwarming Christmas movie. And it definitely has such a warm, welcoming, and comfortable feel. I feel like The Holdovers is going to be a brand new Christmas tradition. I certainly am looking forward to watching this movie every year from now on. I'm looking forward to showing this movie to my girlfriend. I'm looking forward to showing this movie to my family, because I feel like The Holdovers should be a Christmas tradition for everybody from now on. The Holdovers is incredible. And for a comeback movie, for a guy who doesn't even see this as a Christmas movie per se, I mean, Alexander Payne gave us a hell of a movie. I'm honestly sitting here struggling to come up with another movie from Payne's filmography that I liked more than The Holdovers. And this is just off of one viewing. See, The Holdovers to me feels very vintage and very old school. And that's not just necessarily in the feel of this movie, because even though this movie wasn't shot on film, it might as well have. It feels like a movie that came out back in the 1960s, released today in the theaters, just with better budget and a buttload of predecessors of movies that it kind of models itself after. The Holdovers feels to me like a combination of The Breakfast Club in Christmas Story clothing. And for a movie to get that high of praise, those of you who know me, these are two of my favorite movies of all time. So I feel like The Holdovers should take that as the sincerest compliment possible. I had a lot of fun watching this movie last night at the time of recording. I saw this with a group of friends, and one of them, after the movie was over, he had this to say. A lot of the best movies of the year so far, like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Guardians of the Galaxy, Oppenheimer, a lot of them had very flashy filmmaking techniques, and they felt like big events. They felt like big blockbusters. In my friend Colin's words, The Holdovers is silently brilliant. Because in order for The Holdovers to be one of the best movies of the year, it doesn't really have to do a whole lot of flashy things production-wise. Yes, direction-wise, this is flawless. The framing of this movie is pitch perfect. The establishing shots showing you this beautiful church, a torrential snowstorm keeping these guys holed up inside this school. The overall aesthetic of this movie as well, it just makes you feel so welcome. And honestly, with The Holdovers, you don't even feel like you're watching a movie. Matter of fact, you don't even feel like you're watching characters. You feel like you're watching real life unfold before your eyes. And every single person we meet along the way has very troubled backgrounds, and you definitely feel sorry for every single one of them. And just how they all come together is pitch perfect, beautiful, like you couldn't write this anywhere else. Paul Giamatti is slowly turning into one of my favorite actors, but you never really see Paul Giamatti in this part. You see a man who is just trying to do his job to the best of his ability. And if that means challenging these kids who are very privileged, he is not afraid to give a kid who has the potential to go to Cornell a C+ to set him straight. He is not afraid to flunk a student who is potentially going to Harvard. All of this is done to basically paint him as the mentor figure, but a lot of these kids hate him. And it's a really compelling conflict there, which makes it all the more intriguing when Dominic Sessa comes into the fold. Dominic Sessa, this is his feature film debut. He had done a lot of theater before getting this gig, and damn, like, I cannot wait to see what else this guy does. Sessa is a wonderful discovery. He's got two heavy-hitting Oscar-winning performances to work with here. And I think he definitely meets both Giamatti and Divine Joy Randolph halfway. Speaking of Randolph, I think she absolutely should get a Best Supporting Actress nomination from the Academy, because the range that she explores in this movie is unlike any other you would see from a supporting actress this year. She can be the most welcoming, kind soul, and then in the next scene, you just want to give her a hug for how sorry you feel for her. Like, all three of these leading actors, their chemistry on screen, pitch perfect. Honestly, guys, The Holdovers, I really don't have a whole lot of issues with this movie. Like, yeah, I'm sure people could nitpick this movie to death. Some people might say the movie's too long. Other people might have issues with the mean-spirited nature of some of these supporting characters that we meet along the way. I mean, we feel that in a lot of the vintage Christmas classics of the past. A lot of the characters in A Christmas Story feel very cartoonish. Scott Farkas, very over-the-top bully character. But yet, a lot like The Christmas Story, The Holdovers definitely feels like a passion project. Everybody involved feels like they want to be a part of something special. And damn it, The Holdovers is something special. Like, this movie is 2 hours and 13 minutes long. Like, you could have fooled me. This movie flew by. It was an absolute delight. It's a Christmas movie that I feel like has everything. It's got the heartwarming, charming comedy, but it also has the heart-wrenching, dramatic beats that really, The Holdovers is a movie that has everything. It's a smaller movie that does not need to do anything flashy. It's basically just giving you a window into real life. And that made me so wrapped up in this movie, guys. Honestly, kind of similar to Lady Bird in a lot of ways, where I just kind of didn't want the movie to end. I kind of wanted to see more of these characters, if anything. But with what we get and the ending and the resolution to this movie, I dare not give anything away. The hijinks that these characters get into, again, I dare not spoil anything. You gotta see The Holdovers for yourself. I highly recommend checking this out in theaters if you have the time this holiday season. Alexander Payne may have just given us his best movie, and he was already a legend in my eyes. This is 100% one of my favorite movies of the year. I'm gonna give The Holdovers an A+. This is a Christmas tradition that you have to add to your list as soon as humanly possible. Let me know what you thought of The Holdovers down in the comments section below, and let me know what your favorite Christmas movie of all time is. And no, Die Hard does not count. That is a summer blockbuster. I am taking that to my grave. But I love discussing all new things in movies and entertainment with you guys on the regular. Joking aside, this is a great community over here, and y'all are invited to join us. Do consider subscribing and hitting that thumbs up as well. That would be a humongous help, my friends. Stay tuned for more videos hitting the channel very soon, especially as we go through this newest holiday season. We get a stacked rest of the year, and I can't wait to talk about all these new movies with you guys. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.